What was the list of names I was going to say? We're going to say Audrey, Michael, Sophie. I don't know, Ren, you might be watching this. Lori, I might send this to you. So, hi everyone. Today's lesson is we're going to build on that system lesson I talked about earlier with the planets. And today's lesson is going to be about the most important question in the world. Why? Always ask why. There is a why behind everything, even when sometimes that why is just because. Something happens, something's random. That's still a why. And this will take you far, and this will also piss off adults. Adults don't like to be questioned. And I think we should change that. Part of that is asking them why. Why do you do something? Why does this thing happen? Why is this thing going on? And how does this tie into systems? Well, you remember how when I was talking about systems, and we used the solar system as an example, and it's really, oh no, we're back. And it's really big, and how systems can be really big, like the galaxy, and really small, like atoms interacting together in a molecule. This plays into something called fractals. And what a fractal is a shape. Oh, let's see if I can freehand a fractal. It's a shape that I don't know if that's
Do a Sierpinski gasket.
I do not know how to draw a Sierpinski gasket.
It's triangles.
It's triangles? Can you draw a Sierpinski gasket?
Yeah.
Okay, you draw a Sierpinski gasket.
This is bad.
Oh, it's the Zelda triangle. It's the Triforce. With extra steps. Oh, okay.
This is bad, but you get the idea.
Yeah. So what a fractal is a shape that, where'd our zoom go? Focus. Is a shape that you can like zoom in on. And I encourage you to look up videos of fractals because it's a very visually impressive thing. And it's the same shape repeated over and over and over at various scales. So we start with the big triangle, and then you get the little smaller triangle sets, and then you go in and you get the smaller triangle sets, and inside those triangle sets are even smaller triangle sets, and it's the same shape repeating as you zoom in or zoom out. And this particular fractal is called the Sierpinski gasket. Thank you, Eve. I do not know about that. Okay, so systems are like fractals, and you can zoom in and you can zoom out, right? So we talked about the solar system, and that's a system that's caused by gravity. Hold on, I'm going to pass the camera back to Eve. Right, and that is also made up of, and like next step down on the fractal is all of like the smaller planetary systems with their moons, and then you can like look at the atmosphere on planets. That is also another system that is being held in place by the gravity. And then like the planet itself is a system that is being held together by gravity because you have all the dirt molecules, all the rocks and stuff being held together, and then like all those atoms are being held together by forces, right? So you see how it's a fractal. It's like we start with the solar system, and you can go in a step, in a step, in a step, in a step, or you can go out a step, from the solar system to our galactic cluster, to our galaxy, to, I did that backwards, to our galaxy, to our galactic cluster, to the universe. So you can go out. Asking why is a similar process, right? So we can say, why is the universe shaped the way it is? Well, because gravity. and and then the interaction of the planetary bodies. Like, why are they interacting that way? And then we can look at each individual system to be like, okay, well, these are all the forces that are acting on one another to shape their orbits and to shape each planetary system and each, and to shape the solar system as a whole. And then, okay, well, why are those planetary systems operating in the way they are? And then we can look at the makeup and density of each planet and the system of like the planet's constituent parts interacting with itself, and then we can be like, okay, well, why is that happening? And then we can look at the forces between molecules and atoms, and we can say, well, why is that happening? And then we can get into quantum physics and start looking at strings and quarks and spin and all that fun stuff.
String theory is different from quantum theory.
Is it?
Yeah.
And has string theory been disproven?
It's not great.
It's not great.
It can give you the answer, but only if you know the answer already.
Okay. That's not very helpful.
No, it's not. It's fun math, but it's not useful.
Okay. So we'll forget the strings. We'll talk about quarks. But that's, and so this doesn't just apply to physics, right? This applies to everything. So why did you have a fight with your friend? Well, maybe they were having a bad day. Why were they having a bad day? Because, the weather was it was raining out. Okay, well, why does the rain affect their mood, right? You can follow this chain. And this is what will develop your understanding of the world around you, and this is what will let you make intelligent and, intelligent and intentional decisions and actions within the world, is because you will have a deeper and deeper understanding of how all these systems and mechanisms are playing off of one another. You're still kind of young, right? You're still learning, your mind's absorbing, you got that sponge brain. I miss having sponge brain. And my brain is still spongy, but not quite as much as when I was young. It's like now is the best time to always be asking why. Also because you're a kid, adults will get angry about you asking why, but they won't do much about it. They'll just tell you to stop asking questions, which you might stop asking that person questions, but never stop asking questions. And they'll let you get away with it. Where was I going with this? So I think, the other part I want to put into this is you got to be open to being wrong, right? Because you're going to find answers to these whys, right? And they're not always right. And this is why asking why is so important, is because if you ask why and you get a response, so like, why is my friend upset? Because it's raining. Okay, why does that make her upset? And then you keep digging into those answers and they don't really make sense. Well, then you can say, well, maybe that wasn't the right answer to the first why, right? So you zoom in, stuff stops making sense. Okay, let's zoom back out. Let's find a different place to zoom in and look for answers. And if that keeps making sense, then you can keep going. So maybe it's not because it's raining and she's sad because she can't go outside, but it's because like her parents yelled at her to not go outside because it's raining, right? You see how we zoomed in, things didn't quite make sense, so we zoomed back out, like, oh, there's a different factor at play here. So we're going to zoom in on that, like, why did her parents do that, and then we can keep digging. So, this is like the most powerful thing, this is a superpower that you have, is to ask this question and to accept being wrong in answers you find, and to change them. And especially when you're starting out, like anything, when you start on something new, you're going to be bad at it and you're going to make mistakes. So you're going to get a lot of wrong answers when you start asking why. But if you keep doing it, you'll be able to sort out the wrong answers from the good answers, and you'll be able to build a more accurate understanding of the world around you, and this will let you move through it better. So, my little follow-up work for you guys, if you're so inclined, is to pick something and ask why. and follow that question like 3 or 4 steps deep, right? Find your why, get an answer to it, and then ask your why about that. And if, you know, one of those answers doesn't make sense, go back up a level. Find a different why and ask about that. Does that make sense, right? I hope this is making sense. So you have your why, you find an answer, you ask why. You find an answer, you ask why, but it doesn't make sense. So you go over again, and you ask a different answer. Or you can find a different answer to that first why. And you ask why, and then you keep going, right? That's like the chain of thought. Please leave a comment or something if you need more clarification, because I know this is a very abstract lesson, but like this literally can be applied to anything. If you're feeling that kind of choice paralysis of like, I don't know what to do, ask why. Go to Google and type in like why am I confused? Don't use the AI answers for it, but like read a Wikipedia article or like a news article or a journal article or something. Just don't use the AI stuff, because the AI can't do this. That's why you don't use. That's why AI is bad for summarizing stuff, is because it can't do this. It doesn't know why.
AI also
just
hallucinates and makes things up.
It does that too. So anyways, yes, follow-up work. Pick something, anything. And I know it's a very overwhelming field, but pick anything and just ask why, and ask why to that answer, and ask why to that answer, and just go a couple levels deep. And I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. I've done this, like I spend a lot of time on YouTube, on Wikipedia, just clicking links and finding answers. But I think this is a really important skill to develop, and I hope you have fun with it, because I have a ton of fun with it. I love you all. Have a nice day. Love one another. Love yourself. Bye.